Well, KZ has teamed up with HBB, Hawaii Bad Boy, or as you may know him on YouTube as Bad Guy Good Audio Reviews. He's done a retune of the DQ6 to bring us the new DQ6S. Yep, he's tuned it to a little bit more of his liking, but how did he do? In today's episode of Hobart's Reviews, we're going to take a look at the new DQ6S up close and in detail. We'll go over the specs and then we'll listen to some tunes to find out how they sound. All that and more in today's episode of Hobart's Reviews. Stick around. Hey everybody, welcome back to Hobart's Reviews. My name is Hobart. So KZ and HBB teamed up. HBB, of course, is Hawaii Bad Boy, or you may know him from his YouTube channel, Bad Guy Good Audio Reviews. I've watched him for years before I even got into IEM, so shout out to HBB. And they've teamed up to retune the DQ6 IEMs. It's the same hardware that you're going to get in the DQ6. It's just been retuned, and that's why they call it the DQ6S. But basically, you're going to get an imported resin shell. You get a zinc alloy faceplate. This one comes in two colors. You're going to have the option of gray and the option of rose gold. You also have the option of having mic or no mic. So if you want to have the mic on there, you'll be able to control your music, answer and hang up phone calls and all that good stuff with the touch of a button right there on your cord. And this one happens to be the rose gold mic option, so you'll be able to see what that looks like here when we go up close. Speaking of going up close, we know all the basics now, so what do you say? Let's dive in and unbox these guys and see what they look like. All right, so this is the KZ by HBB DQ6S box. It's the standard KZ box. You can see there are two colors on this side. You got the pink gold or the graphite gray. This is the pink gold, and you have a no mic or mic option. And as you can see, this is the mic option. So we'll show you that here in a minute. Taking a look at the back of the box here, here's some of your specs. You've got your 0.75 millimeter dual or 2-pin connector. Your frequency response is 20 to 40,000 hertz. Your impedance is 25 ohms, and your sensitivity is 116 dB. It's the standard KZ box. When you pop it open, you're going to see the KZ by HBB DQ6S. These are the rose gold version, as I said. Let's go ahead and show you the cable. Of course, you're going to get some silicone ear tips in there. I would suggest getting memory foam ear tips if you're new to IEMs, but these will work okay. They're not too bad. The cable that you're going to get, of course, you've got your ear hooks on the end. If you haven't worn IEMs before, the reason that you have ear hooks is so that they'll stay on. Plug the IEMs in, and these go over the back of your ears and helps them to stay on better. This is the mic option, so there is the mic, the button. Different button combinations do different things. So whether you want to answer or hang up a phone call or switch the music track with your music, you can do all that with this button right here. Now this is the silver-plated flat cable, so it is flat, and it does have the 90-degree 3.5 millimeter connector on the end. So that is the cable that you get with it. Pretty much the standard that you get these days with KZ. And here we go. This is what the rose gold KZ HBB DQ6S looks like. Looks just like the DQ6, huh? That's because it is. But if it's your first time taking a look at them, we'll go ahead and do a once-over and up close. We'll remove this silicone ear tip. So this is, of course, the zinc alloy faceplate that comes in rose gold and gray. This is where your 2-pin connector is, where you're going to plug in your cable. Taking a look at a side profile of it, you can see the shape of it. It's got this little lip up here for the top of your ear. And an aluminum or stainless steel, I would say this is an aluminum piece here that has a little extra lip on it that I like. Some of these lips where your silicone ear tip or your memory foam ear tip kind of holds on are almost not there. So I like that this has one, a little bit more security when it comes to the ear tip or the silicone or memory foam tip that you put on there. Now if you want to see where your dynamic drivers are, you've got your dynamic driver right there. That is the 10 millimeter one. And then you've got two more dynamic drivers. Those are your 6 millimeter ones down in there. Over here you can see, I don't know if you can see or not. Let's see if I can bring that up. You've got the HBB logo, and it says KZ by HBB DQ6S. And putting the silicone ear tips on are always tricky. I usually just squeeze down right there on the edge like that, right on the very back of it, and that allows me to grip it and kind of open up the hole so that I can stick the stem in there. And like I said, it's got that little extra lip there on the stem, so that, see how hard it is to get off? That's good. You don't want it to come off really easy, and that little extra lip on that stem makes it really hard to come off. I've actually had on some IEMs, the ear tips come off inside my ear, and I've had to fish it out, so that's never a good thing. As far as comfort, they're pretty darn comfortable. They stay in. This little extra feature, this little extra lip up here, goes into the upper part of my ear really well. It all depends on the size of your ear, of course, if these are going to fit, but for the most part, they're pretty darn comfortable. And this one would be your right ear, and this one here would be your left ear, if I could hold on to them. Just like that. So there you go. There's an up-close look at the new HBB DQ6S. Let's go ahead and take a look at the graph, and then we'll listen to some tunes, and I'll let you know how they sound. All right, let's take a look at the graph real quick of the new DQ6S and how it is tuned. Now, this is the DQ6S. The gray line here is actually HBB's goal. That's what he wanted to achieve, and the yellow line is what it actually is. Now, compared to the DQ6, I don't have that up on here, but compared to the DQ6, some of the changes that he made include taking this sub bass over here to the side. The sub bass was around 63 or so and kind of went up a little bit to around 65. What he has done is he's taken that sub bass and he's brought it up to like 67, 68, kept it up a little bit higher all the way through this mid bass to about here. And this is where the DQ6 and the DQ6S are very similar. They pretty much ride the same line all the way through the mids until you get over here to the upper mids and the treble area. So over in the DQ6, you actually have three peaks that are very similar, very sharp, that are similar to like this in the 70 to 74 range, way up here. And one of the things that HBB says about him listening to music is he wants the treble to not be overpowering. He doesn't want there to be too much of it. He doesn't want it to be fatiguing. So I think one of his goals in here was to, one, just bring those peaks down. The first one, he rounded out, brought it in from that 70, 71 range. He rounded it out and brought it into that like 67, 66 range. Then the second hump, he kept a little sharper, but again, brought it down from that over 70 decibel range down to about the 68 or so range. And then this third hump here, again, he brought it from like the 74, 75 range up here, brought it down, again, kept that peak a little bit sharper, but overall, those three peaks have been rounded out and they have been brought down so that they're just not so intense. Also, this second hump right here was actually over in the 6K range when it comes to hertz, 6,000 hertz. And what he has done is he's actually moved this second one from around here back over to about 4,800 hertz, which is another change that he made. So those are the changes in the graph. You can see what it looks like. Now let's put it to the test. Let's have a listen and see what it sounds like. All right, everybody, so before we get started, let's go ahead and take a look at what these look like in. I'm super happy with them. They're very, very comfortable. They fit in my ear and they stay there. They feel like they're just nice and snug. When I shake my head, they don't move at all. They don't stick out. But if you haven't worn them before, you can see the ear hook goes over the back of the ear to keep them on and keep them in place. But there you go. That's what they look like. And of course, you got your little microphone here. So if you wanted to answer your phone call or change your music, you can do so right there. All right, so let's listen to some different types of music, and we'll look at the graph, and I'll tell you what I'm hearing as we go. One of my favorite new playlists over on YouTube Music is the Travel Seed playlist. So I got Travel Seed The Harvest. We'll start off with some reggae type music, and I'll let you know what I'm hearing. Little guitar in the beginning. Drum kit just came in. Wow. It's very, very clear. All right, so right now, so far, I'm definitely hearing the sub bass that is a little bit more versus the regular DQ6s. Usually in my videos, I'm comparing what I'm hearing to a speaker system in a car. I think everybody can kind of relate to that. And so what I always start off with is a nice Bose system. You know, the car that you get in that has that nice Bose system that you're like, wow, this sounds good. If it only had a subwoofer, right? What I'm gonna say about these so far is that you're gonna get that 12-inch subwoofer sound, but it's like someone took the subwoofer and turned it down. This is not a bassy IEM at all. What it's doing is it's giving me the frequencies of that sub bass at 70 or 68 dB. I'm hearing it and I'm feeling that sub bass, but it's not like listening to, you know what I mean? My face isn't vibrating off. So I really like that so far. All right, so the highs, I mean, they're nice and crisp. Again, you can tell that they've been brought down a little bit. They're not fatiguing at all. They're, like he says in his video, when you hear a cymbal, the cymbal sustains without dropping off too quick. It really does sound good. It's great so far. So let's bust out of some tribal seeds. Let's find another type of music. How about some Coldplay? We'll go ahead and listen to some clocks from Coldplay. All right, so what I'm noticing so far with Coldplay and clocks, this one is not a heavy bass sound at all, and you can tell. I can still hear that kick drum though. I can still hear the oomph. You can still hear that kick drum, but it's not over bassy at all. It's great. Like I said, this is not a bassy IEM, but the frequencies are there. Just beautiful. Like he says, he has balanced this IEM for his whole library, whether it's rock or whether it's rap or hip hop or whether it's Bob Marley. He has balanced these things. Not a balanced sound. This isn't a balanced IEM, but he has made them so that you can listen to pretty much anything and you're going to hear awesomeness. So there's some Coldplay. Sounded great. What else do we got in here? Let's play some Post Malone, Better Now, and see what kind of bass hip hop or rap music sounds like with these guys. They got the capabilities. That snare drum, it's an electric snare drum, just pop, pop, very clear. Wow. Yeah, it definitely has the ability to go bassy. I'm super surprised. When the bass just kicked in, yeah, I got a 12-inch subwoofer in the trunk. But I want to say again, I have a 12-inch subwoofer in the trunk, but it's turned down. And I don't want to say volume. I just want to say intensity. I can feel those frequencies. I can feel those harmonics down low. But it's not like again, my face is falling off. But there's some bass. Again, there's bass. There's deepness to the bass, but it's not overpowering. I love it. I love it. All right, so we've listened to Post Malone, we listened to some Coldplay. What else do we got on here? We listened to some of the Tribal Seeds. We got Stick Figure on here. Y'all like Stick Figure? How about some Bob Seger? How about old time rock and roll? We'll go back and see what some old time rock and roll sounds like, which I'm sure is in HBB's music library. The piano in the beginning. Wow. All right, well, Bob Seger sounds good too. Incredible. The vocals are extremely clear. You can hear the kick drum. It's got that boom. It's not as much as you hear in some of the newer songs because that wasn't really intensified back in the day, I don't think, as much as maybe it is now. Piano sounds crisp and clear. You can definitely hear that piano in that area. It's old-time rock and roll, baby. All right, well, I mean, all I can say is that I think HBB did a great job. He did a great job at tuning the DQ6 to a point where you can listen to this without having your ears being fatigued from treble. You're not overpowered by bass, so it's not for bass heads. It's for somebody who's looking for something right in the middle. It's for somebody who is looking for that nice Bose system with a 12-inch subwoofer in the trunk, but turned down to maybe 50%. Meaning that you're going to be able to get those lower harmonics. You're going to be able to hear those lower frequencies. You're going to be able to feel a deeper bass without it being overpowering. And of course, this area up here, the upper mids and the treble just sound incredible. I actually listen to these things at work pretty much all week, all day while doing some tedious computer work to finish up a project. And I didn't get tired of these at all. I actually kept bringing them to work with me day after day with all the other ones that I have because I just couldn't get enough of them. So overall, these are a great option if you're looking to get into IEMs. They don't cost you a lot. You get them for 32 bucks on Amazon. I'll go ahead and put a link in the description for you. If you want to go ahead and pick up a pair of these, I'll put the link for the rose gold color and the gray color and the with mic and without a mic option as well. I'll also put a link for some ear tips and some other things. So if you're looking to go ahead and buy these, use my affiliate link below. It helps out my channel, but it doesn't cost you any more. Well, thanks again for joining me today on my KZ by HBB DQ6S review. I really appreciate you joining me today. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them down in the comment section. And don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe and that bell so next time I put out a video, you will be notified. Well, thanks friends. I really appreciate you joining me today. My name is Hobart for Hobart's Reviews. Have a great rest of your day. See ya.
I grew up in a place where they told you what to chase. Told you how to run the race, every move was on the page. But I didn't like their way, had to fight and misbehave. Had to find a way to change, had to leave to find my way. Caught up in a daydream, I beat my mind up there almost daily. It's how I pass time, no opinions safely. It's how I understand what I want in this place, see. Cause everybody wanna tell you better.